nothing wrong with America.
Hello and welcome to Don't Feed the Gondolas. Tomorrow is of course St. Patrick's Day, the day when we celebrate our unique culture by standing in the pissing rain for hours on end, watching a load of rusty tractors roll past us. With Dara O'Brien tonight, an Irish actress known to you all as the snotty Pamela from Upwardly Mobile. However, she has acted in comedy as well. It's Hilary Fannin. And with Brendan O'Connor from the Sunday Independent, an Irish man who admits to spending most of his life on the sidelines watching other men score. But he does have a very nice personality. It's George Hamilton. We'll start with what we in TV land call the first round. Now, because of last week's 2 by-elections with the electorate turned out for in, their 10s and 20s at least, this round is called Amazing Political Facts. Each team gets some props which give clues to an amazing fact about a well-known politician. They'll get a point if they can guess who the politician is, and another 2 points if they can guess if I can speak properly or not. Dara and Hilary, you might as well go first, just for the crack. You get a wig and a copy of the Farmers Weekly.
Yeah, the wig is actually not just a wig, it's a wig plus skull attached, which is very handy. But skull with no brain, which is very true of most politicians in Ireland, to be honest at the moment. So there's that.
That's a very beautiful, expensive wig.
It is actually, it comes with its own head. For fear. And then a copy of the Farmers Weekly, which is an excellent magazine. Have you ever read it? It's just very good. It keeps you up to date on all those farming advancements. Like there's an ad here for a 233 megahertz chicken. Really, really good. And they're all like farmers, cattle. There's eating and drinking in them. This is really handy. What do you say for a wig?
This is an unputdownable magazine.
It really is actually, because it's all dung and everything else. It's just sticks to your hands.
Literally.
I would say the wig thing would be a politician with some sort of a hair thing that he's trying to keep a secret.
Possibly.
Would it be that most famous of Irish politicians, the only Irish politician actually, who is rhyming slang for homosexual? That's Jackie Healy-Rae.
Yes, I'll give you a point for that. Well, the actual answer is that it is Jackie Healy-Rae, as they said. And the fact is that apart from being a TD and a publican, Jackie Healy-Rae is an expert in sheep scab. That's why women are mad about him, apparently. Now, he also wears 2 wristwatches and he's in favour of nudist beaches in Kerry. Now, there's a wrist connection there, but I can't think what it could be. You know? Yes. Now, of course, sheep are a very important part of the agricultural community, and we have some VT to show you. A few years ago, some very militant farmers got very worked up, and they formed a provisional section of the Irish Farmers Association. And what they tried to do was lob exploding sheep into Dáil Éireann.
That's no way to treat your government.
And we do want to apologise to any viewers in Wicklow who found that sexually explicit.
Sean, I think given that it's lambing season, they're not watching television in Wicklow tonight.
So, Brendan and George, you get a phone and a big cigar. Who's that and what's it about?
Well, the politician clearly has large hands.
Or a big mouth, which wouldn't be that unusual, really.
Is it not those well-known politicians, the Spice Girls? Because they really, really, really want a cigar. And then taking the phone into account, would it be that more people have now been on Jerry Spice than have been on the phone?
Well, no, I was actually looking for somebody elected to Dáil Éireann, this country.
Yeah, but what about girl power? Politicians.
I'll give you a clue, it is a girl. Ish.
Mary Harney.
Yeah. Got it in one. Okay, it's Mary Harney. Any idea what the amazing fact about Mary Harney might be?
That more people have been... No.
Now that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Well, the cigar was the clue to Mary Harney because the PDs are the big business party, obviously. And
Fat cats, you could say.
You could say that, yes. And the phone is actually refers to this program. At the end of this program, that we do make phone calls. And I'm not making this up. This is true. Mary Harney is a Dublin TD, but originally she's from Mahaskra. It's like God is telling us something, really, isn't it? Now, of course, sexism in politics is a big problem, and we do have some VT to demonstrate this. This is a photo shoot that was taking place outside Dáil Éireann. They were going to take a picture of all the women TDs. Blokes going, no, sorry, mate, you and your friend, you can't be in it. Sorry, you have to leave now. Oh, no, not again. So after that round, the scores are that Dara's team scored 2 points, Brendan's team scored 1 point. Time now for our Nobel Prize-winning sports observation round. We show each team a sports clip, and they have to answer a question about it. Brendan and George, you go first. For you, we have this is from Australia versus Peru in the 1974 World Cup. The most obscure thing we could find that you probably wouldn't know about, George, basically. Now, this is, as we said, this is Australia versus Peru. People falling down now. Now, we've got a bloke here called Ray Richards. He's there complaining. He's the guy he's obviously a member of Village People previously. And he's getting a yellow card there. So he gets a bit cranky, gets a yellow card. The question is, in what way were the rules being broken there, other than Ray getting the yellow card?
Well, it's quite apparent that given that it was the only time that Australia have ever appeared in the World Cup finals, having already lost to West Germany 3-0 and East Germany 2-0, and that match ended in a scoreless draw, and given that the referee was Iranian, and that Iran made their one and only appearance in the subsequent World Cup because of that referee's good performance in that match.
Jesus, I'm sorry I asked now, I really am.
It's quite apparent to me that it was for a bizarre infringement of the rules, nothing to do with the tackle from behind, which in this year's World Cup would result in an automatic sending off.
No, that's wrong, smarty pants. We can look at the VT again. The answer is that was Ray Richards' actually second yellow card. He should have been sent off at that point, and he wasn't. He played for 8 minutes until the Iranian referee realised what he'd done. Actually, George, before we go on, while we were looking at interesting people like Ray Richards, we were also looking at some of the matches that you've commentated on. And no, hang on. We haven't. He's a very fun commentator because obviously it's live, and sometimes unexpected things happen. And when something unexpected happened, George just describes it very coolly. This is what happened, and we do have an example of this. This is where a goalkeeper unexpectedly got excited and did something embarrassing over a goalpost. Have a look at this.
Well, I think, in fairness, looking at the replay, it was probably covered by semen on his near post.
George can rise to the challenge every time.
Have you ever seen actually when George Hamilton drives home? Oh, just the mouth's going off. He's going, I'm pulling out of the car park. Oh, somebody's pulling across me. Danger here. Get out of my way. Oh, I'm in the clear now, but he's not happy about that.
So, Darren Hillary, you have Bulgaria versus Mexico. This is from the World Cup again. Have a look at this.
2 goals he scored in that time. But how about him scoring from the spot? He does, and Bulgaria have reached the quarterfinals of the Championship of the World for the first time in the country's history. Lechkov, who had a splendid match, was buried at the end of that run.
Now, my suspicion is that you've got the easy question here. The question is, in what unique way did they celebrate that goal?
Well, just to pad it out, clearly that was Bulgaria versus Mexico in the 1994 World Cup, where and they went on to play Germany, who they defeated them. So that's what I think happened, but I think very clearly...
I think that was a very interesting type of ball sport, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've heard of Swedish massage. That's a kind of Bulgarian ball sport massage technique for the relief of tension during a match.
Indeed,
I just thought he was sticking his finger up his ass.
Well, there's always that.
Let's have a look at the VT and find out. Oh, look, here it goes. Whoa, what in the back of the net? Yes! Very nice. That's absolutely excellent. So, after that round, the scores are that Dara's team got 2 points, Brendan's team got 1 point. Time for some advertisements now, but when we return, as I've already said, tomorrow is our national holiday. Of course, it's an international holiday for most of the members of the government, and we'll be showing you what happens when the Bird of Peace is released on St. Patrick's Day. See you in a few minutes.
But whether by omen or inclination, the Peace Doves didn't seem very anxious to take to the wing in Galway this morning. A temporary setback, perhaps, but some political persuasion, a bit of good humour, and a little coaxing finally got them to fly. The Doves were on their way back to Northern Ireland, bringing with them the best wishes of the City of the Tribes.
They're going to want to go back to Northern Ireland, aren't they? Yeah, oh yeah. People will shoot me there. Yeah, that's great. That is. Time now for State of the Nation, where we test how much in tune our contestants are with the average reluctant dove on the street. This week we went to celebrate our Irishness. We travelled to the dead centre of Ireland, Athlone, County Westmeath. It's certainly in the centre of Ireland, and it's certainly dead. And incidentally, we travelled down on the CAA Super Train to Galway, and I just thought you might be interested to know that after a course of injections, my rash is starting to clear up now. So thanks for that. So, obviously, some members of the audience have travelled on it as well. Dara, you go first. Now, for you, we have the national questions. There was reports in the papers this week that Articles 2 and 3 of the Constitution are now on the table to go along with all the guns underneath it, obviously. So the question we asked was, should we give away Articles 2 and 3, or should we sell them to Tesco's? We asked this woman, or we actually met her around the corner from Tesco's flagship store, which is in Athlone. Did she say, A, if they were Irish, Tesco's probably wouldn't buy them anyway? B, sure, if there's a few bob in it? Or C, Tesco, you mean like the Bee Gees?
Well, I've always felt that Articles 2 and 3 of the Constitution, while very well meant, are always a bit like, you know, those sort of 17-year-old, 18-year-old boys who go, listen, if you get pregnant, I'll be there for you, okay? And then go, Jesus, you're what? Oh my God, I'm going to Bulgaria. So, when it comes to the answer given by this lovely young lady here, yes, I would say that it would be B. Sure, if there's a few bob in it.
Sure, if there's a few bob in it. Let's have a look at the VT and find out. Excuse me, could I ask you a quick question, please?
What is it all about?
The question is, do you think we should give away Articles 2 and 3 of the Constitution, or should we sell them to Tesco's? What do you think?
Well, you see, I don't know a lot about the articles you're speaking about.
Mm-hmm. They're the claim on Northern Ireland, the territorial claim on Northern Ireland.
Oh. What should we do?
Should we give them away, or should we sell them to Tesco's?
You should give them away. Why give them to Tesco?
We may get a few bob out of Tesco's for them.
Well, I suppose so. Well, anything you can get a few bob out of, carry on.
That's the spirit. Thanks very much. Well done. If there's a few bob in it, that's what made this country great. So anyway, Hillary, Athlone is a garrison town. It's actually got lots of soldiers there, just in case there's a sneak attack up the Shannon from one of our many enemies. So the question we asked was, should the people in Athlone learn sign language to make it easier to communicate with the soldiers? We asked this woman, did she say, A, I've a sign that I'll understand? B, my sister shagged Marty Whelan? Or C, everyone knows everyone else and they nod?
Absolutely.
Jesus, Marty Whelan gets around.
I would have to go with B, because Marty shagged my sister as well.
Well, let's have a look at the VT and find out. A quick question, please.
Let's go in.
Do you think that the local people in Athlone should learn sign language to help them to communicate with the soldiers?
Not with the soldiers. I would have... Now, are you joking?
No.
You think now that this is a joke because the soldiers are deaf, and it's not at all. Everyone knows everybody else, so everyone nods.
All right, thanks very much. I thought she was gonna hit me, deck me there for a second. Actually, Hillary, while we still have you, Hillary, apart from obviously her fame on Upwardly Mobile, she's also does a lot of work doing voiceovers for adverts. And now, you know, obviously you won't know this because you can't see her doing the voiceover, but we do have an example of her work. Once you hear this, you'll recognize her instantly. Listen to this.
New Lumiactive from Vichy is the first daytime skincare cream to effectively protect against both types of damaging UV rays. Ask at your pharmacy for Lumiactive from Vichy, source of healthy skin.
There, darling.
So we have to say thanks to Vichy for letting us play that advert. So because she does all these breathy adverts, all the ones with the glycans and the liposomes and all those kind of ones in it, we thought we'd do, just for the laugh, we thought we'd make our own little advert and get Hillary to voice over it. Because she's obviously an expert in this. We have prepared a little script for her with a bit of VT we put together. So here's our advert, narrated by Hillary Fannin.
Glycans. I'm not a dentist, but I know one when I see one. Individually wrapped, smeared in fresh, creamy, old Mr. Brennan. Would you swap your liposomes for a big bag of glycans? 8 out of 10 times I would, especially if it had a dry weave top sheet.
Anyway, you get no points anyway, so that's the end of that.
Thank you.
So, Brendan, it's your go. Your question concerns a drama that RTE screened this week. It was written by Roddy Doyle. It concerns two women who meet at a funeral of a priest, and they discover they were both sleeping with the priest. Priest died of exhaustion, apparently. So the question we asked was, this week RTE screened a drama concerning a priest who had 2 mistresses. Do you think the chicks dig the uniform? We asked this young woman, did she say, A, it's the white bit that does it, B, yo, them priest dudes are fly, or C, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, etc., etc.
The thing about this is that it's because of the fall in vocations that you will find that priests are having to double job. So it's very likely that a priest had 2 lovers. And as regards the uniforms, I mean, we discovered last week that even Ryanair pilots are now in union, so presumably a priest is about the last guy wearing a uniform that you can be guaranteed isn't going to down tools and walk out during the job. And having taken all that into account, I would say A.
You would say A, it's the white bit that does it. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh! Shh, let me ask a question now. This week, RTE screened a drama that involved a priest with 2 mistresses. Do chicks dig the uniform?
Oh, more than... Yeah, definitely. It's the white bit that does it, isn't it?
So, George, dangerous question for you. This is about space, which of course is very dangerous. Apparently they sent this big thing up to Jupiter, and there's a moon going around Jupiter called Europa. And they've been taking all these pictures of it because they think there might be big monsters living on it and all this kind of stuff. But they've given all the sections of Europa names. And one of the bits of Europa they've called, we're not making this up, they've called it Connemara. This is absolutely true. It's a kind of Jovian Gaeltacht out in the middle of outer space. So the question we asked was, on one of Jupiter's moons, they have an area called Connemara. Did they just call it that so they can get grants?
Of course, the crowd in Galway are arguing that their Connemara has more poor craters in it than the other Connemara.
So we asked the question of this woman. Did she say, A, well, I don't like that grant in EastEnders. B, I feel funky just like a sex machine. Or C, sure, if they can get the money, that'd be grand.
I can vouch for the discotheques of Athlone, and it would not surprise me in the slightest if that lady had suggested that she did feel funky.
Really?
Indeed.
Does Marty Whelan ever go there?
I've never seen Marty there, but I certainly have seen some others. Anyway, What I was going to suggest was that, given the fact that it's already been alluded to on this programme that it was looking for the shilling that made this nation great, I dare say the answer is C.
You'd say the answer is C. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Could I ask you a quick question, please? Could I ask you a quick question, please? The question is this, that on one of Jupiter's moons, there's an area called Connemara.
Yeah.
Do you think they called it that just so they could get some grants?
Maybe, hopefully they will get the money.
Obviously, a resident of Jupiter, just down doing some shopping for the weekend, hoping to get some grants. So after that, the scores are that Dara's team got 2 points, but Brendan's team got 4 points. There's just 120 seconds left for our final round, 60 seconds of facts. Each team gets asked questions about the week's events. They get a point for the right answer, or 2 if they can get a laugh out of the studio audience. Dara and Hilary, your 60 seconds of facts starts now. Ballymun's new look was given what by locals last week?
Bit of a going over with a spray can.
The thumbs up is the right answer. Before giving rooms to Oasis, New Zealand hoteliers asked the band's manager to put down what?
Patsy Kensit.
50 grand was the right answer. At a conference this week, the head of Norwegian Children's TV accused the Teletubbies of what?
Shooting Kennedy.
Stealing a car.
Dumbing down kids' TV was a big question. A man who kicked a Garda in the testicles was given what last week?
Standing ovation.
6 months, if I am at 6 months is the right answer. At the wedding of Shane from Boyzone, what was high?
Shane from Boyzone.
Security is the right answer. Antashka has called for the density of what to be increased in Galway?
A big cloud of cannabis smoke that runs across the city all the time.
Housing is the right answer. Ireland has the highest incidence of premature what in Europe?
Come again?
Death is the right answer there. And it's all over. Sorry about that. Okay, Brendan and George, your 60 seconds of facts starts now. A Romanian refugee was fined for what last week?
Impersonating a Bulgarian footballer in the hope of securing his future.
Car insurance.
He was illegally parked. He illegally parked his butt on the side of the street looking for money.
Oh, yes, very nice and left wing there, yeah. The tobacco industry claims passive smoking is what?
Stingy.
So wait a minute. Not harmful is the right answer. Who is the favourite to fill Pat Kenny's slot this summer?
Well, BB if they can fit her. So instead of good grief, it's Moncrief, it's going to be called, oh no, it's BB.
Dana is the right answer. A Catholic priest said last week that gay clubs aren't just about what?
Catholic priests. They're about altar boys.
A new study claims women are sexually aroused by what?
Yeah.
The smell of chocolate is the right answer. In a hold-up in Florida, a man's life was saved by his false what?
Breasts.
Teeth is the right answer. So after the final round, and indeed at the end of the show, the final scores are that Dara's team got 18 points, but Brendan's team got 20 points. Now tonight's winners. That's it for this week. Thanks to Dara's guest, Hilary Fallon, and with Brendan, George Hamilton. We'll be back next Sunday if you want to see this show again, unless, of course, you're watching this show on a Sunday, in which case you're probably drunk. There'll be a new show next Monday, same time, same channel. But as we go, back to that area of the planet Europa known as Connemara. Earlier on, I rang NASA and managed to get through to the head of the project studying the planet. I wanted to suggest to him that they could use names from other parts of Ireland as well. Thanks for helping us feed the gondolas. Good night.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Mitchell, is it?
Yes.
My name is Monica Looley, and I'm ringing you from a little village in the west of Ireland called Ahasgra. Now, I don't know if you know it at all. You probably don't.
I have been to Western Ireland, but I cannot say that I recognize that name.
We saw they had a picture in one of the Irish papers here of a bit of Europa, and it was called Connemara. Now, this was big news over here, I must tell you, because there's a piece of Ireland called Connemara. We were wondering if could we apply to have a part of Europa called Ahasgra after our little village?
Well, most of the regions are named.
We're only a small village here, but we try to be very forward-looking and very 90s, 1990s. Now, all the villages around us, of course, they have hurling. Did you watch any hurling when you were here in Ireland?
Yes. Yes, we did.
It's tremendous fun, but it's very violent. So we don't have a hurling team because of that. So what we have is a women's weightlifting team, which is very unique for the west of Ireland, you see. But they said that they'd be prepared to call themselves the Europa Women's Weightlifting Team. So, I mean, that might be an angle I could sell to them, maybe, do you think?
I really don't know.
Right.
You could only apply and see.
Well, you've been tremendously helpful.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with this.
Well, best of luck to you too with exploring space and all that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much now. God bless.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.